Welcome back to the Pocket Network Podcast, a podcast for real estate professionals like you to innovate your world. Each week, I sit down with real estate professionals like Jason Pai from JJP Construction to answer any questions you have, discuss any industry hot topics, and so much more. Welcome to the podcast, Jason.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so excited to ask you so many questions. Based on your Instagram, you're not just construction. You also have a company called Shelter LA or Shelter Home.
Shelter Homes, yeah.
Yeah. So you are a builder as well, and you do landscape design.
And Go Landscapers, yep.
Wow. There's so much. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
I got a lot of stuff on my plate, but let's just say those are the only things that are important.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So let's talk about how you first of all got into construction and development.
Sure. Well, my story is, I talk about this story a lot, so I'll try to keep it really short for this group of people. But basically, I was a musician that needed a job, and construction was coming back in. This was literally at the crash. So people were grabbing properties and, getting contractors all over the place. And basically I got a job working for a contractor and literally never looked back. I was a laborer for a long time and then went to go work for a developer who trained me in management, and then from there we partnered, and then eventually went off and did our separate things. And I'm here today.
Perfect.
But that's pretty much it. It's on the shortest version of that.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. So, do you work with real estate agents, or are you an agent?
I am not an agent. I've always wanted to potentially get my license, but the truth is I have a lot going on, and that is the last thing I really need to focus on. I'd rather delegate that out and have agents doing their job to bring me my properties than to be doing it myself.
Yeah, and most of the agents that you work with, are they representing the buyers of new construction projects, or are you working on existing homes?
Majority of the homes that I buy, I think this is the answer to your question. Majority of the homes that I buy are tear downs. Okay. So I develop infill lots in Los Angeles. It means that most of the houses that I buy are complete tear downs. I tear them down to the studs, I rip up to the dirt, and then I'm building brand new homes on those lots.
And lately, over let's say the past month, are you seeing the prices of the materials still increasing, or are they balancing out, decreasing?
Yeah, I mean, overall, the last what is it, 2 years or so, now going on 3 almost, or 2.5, I guess. Materials, labor, everything has gone up. Everything has gone up. Recently, I can't say, I've seen this shoot right now that's going up, but over this short time frame, things have gone up tremendously. Yeah. It's been an incredible price hike.
Do you think that if prices of homes start to decrease, that you'll see the material fees also decreasing? That's
a very good market question of volume and demand that I have no clue how to answer.
Okay.
There's a lot there's a lot of politics that go into the pricing of these things before I even ever see it. For me, I'm dealing with distributors. I'm not dealing with the manufacturers. So I have no idea what's going on with the people who cut the wood down and mill it and then sell it to distributors or sell it to companies like that. So I have no idea what those prices look like, or the politics behind cutting down trees and the manufacturing stills and all of these things that go into it before I ever even smell the wood. So I can't really say. I mean, they might get so desperate when people stop buying, they go, okay, yeah, we got to shoot prices down, or no, this is genuinely just where prices are at right now.
Okay, it makes sense. So going back to talking about agents that you work with. So have you personally, for your company, partnered with any agents, or do you just work with whoever fits the specific project?
Yeah. So the best way that I've found to really grow and find a footing as a builder is to, I don't want to use the word partner with agents, but partnering with agents is definitely an okay way to put it, because you begin to create a partnership on leaning each other, right? Like they go out and search for properties for you and you go out and buy them. So they depend on you and you depend on them to find them, and they depend on you to buy them. And if you can find relationships like that, that's probably a better word, to garner an area that they become really successful in and you can become really successful in, then maybe there's a good relationship that can be built from that. And that's definitely a strong way to get started and to get to know an area really well. Doesn't mean that you are linked, right? You're not dependent on them, and they shouldn't be dependent on you, because it's an individual business, each of them.
It makes sense. Although when I did search just some details on relationships between agents and builders, I do see that some builders make agents sign contracts to put their license as inactive, so that they could only work for them because of conflicts of interest. Do you know anything about that? Do you have any advice for agents out there on how to negotiate around this?
You can't see my face, unless maybe you can't see my face if you're watching this, but that is news to me. I've never heard that before. I have heard of exclusive agreements, where builders will say listen, if we're serious about working together, you got to bring me all your deals first. If you go to somebody else, you're done. There are some temperamental builders out there who might get like that. But I would say exclusive agreements may be more common, but to deactivate a license just to work with somebody, I don't think that is. I wouldn't recommend that at all.
Yeah.
And how would you work with that person with a deactivated license? You're just gonna go directly to escrow or to the brokerage and work like that? That makes no sense. I don't know.
I didn't do a deep dive on this, but it did say the reason is because of potential conflict of interest. So I don't know if it's because if a client comes to me and let's say I'm an agent, is it a conflict of interest that I might find a better suited house, but I don't show them because I want them to work with the builder that I have a contract with? It could be something like that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm sure there's that could happen whether you're with an agent or not, right? Like whether you're with a builder, connected to a builder or not, agents always have their own agenda.
Yeah.
Right. What are they after? Everyone's always after the same thing. They want to be able to get paid to feed their family and keep moving their life forward. So if they feel like they have a better chance to sell a property to a buyer and they see something else come up, but they're one day away from releasing contingencies, are they going to say something? Or are they going to be like, no, they're in it. One more day, just do the inspections, get through it, get out of here. I mean, not saying anything negative, but most likely most agents are going to go, just keep on going. Don't stop, because everyone's running for the check. They're not going to say, hey, buyers, by the way, there's a house that just came on the market. It's $10,000 cheaper. It's the right square footage. It looks nicer. It's better everything for you. Get out of this one and go to that one. They're just not, I don't know. I might be wrong. I might be totally misjudging all agents in America right now.
Yeah.
But
I see exactly what you mean, but at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it, because I've always had that point of view too, obviously not with the agent, but when you think about how easy it is for me to just log online right now, enter in a zip code and find homes in that area, you have to be really careful if you're going to be that agent, because what if I log online, see exactly what I asked for a block away, I'll just go with a different agent.
So depending on how good you are as an agent will depend on how well you can convince somebody to actually buy something, right? If you're just an agent who is looking to push paper and you have no real semblance of knowledge or background on what it is you're trying to sell, then yeah, you're going to find yourself in some muddy water often, right? But if you have real understanding about what you're getting your clients into and have a real basis of knowledge that can, I don't want to use the word manipulate, but it's the word that's coming to mind, manipulate your buyers into the way you think, then you're going to have a much higher track record of success.
Do you think that's effective long term? Because once you're away from me, once you're speaking like nice things about the house behind my ear, and I'm in this home that I purchased, and I see the things that I don't like about it, see what I should have asked for that maybe a real estate agent should have pointed out for me, do you think that I would still refer my friends and family to that agent?
I don't know.
I feel like that can't be effective long term.
Again, it really depends. Like the example that comes to mind is, so I buy multiple houses a year, and I can't just always be buying in the same exact location. I can't. It's like I can't just buy every house on one block, right? I have to go around to new neighborhoods, different neighborhoods I haven't been in 5 years. So it's my job to do due diligence and to understand where I'm buying, where I'm getting into, why I'm buying that property, where I think it'll exit at, right? I have all those responsibilities on my shoulder, but I can call up, an agent, or as many as I want technically, but I might call up an agent and say, hey, what do you think about this property? Or if an agent is bringing it to me, I might want their total feedback on what they think about this property. And as the buyer, I have to digest what they're saying and choose whether I agree with it or not, or do not agree with it. At the end of the day, it's always going to be the buyer's decision. So yes, you're saying, oh, you're worried about an agent saying something that might, lead to no more business in the future. It's really the buyer who has to make the final decision. So it has nothing to do with the agent convincing somebody or not. They might have said the words that the buyer needed to hear, and the buyer made that decision when it was their time to make the decision. If I bought a house that I thought was right for me, and at the end of the day, the project doesn't sell as well, or it's, then I realized later it's in a bad neighborhood or whatever, I have to look at that and say, it wasn't the agent's fault. They brought me the deal. I looked at it. I thought it. I went through everything that I had to, and I'm sitting here with a bad property. It is what it is. These things happen. I made the mistake, not the agent. I can't blame the agent unless they genuinely took my hand and made me sign something. I had to really, as a buyer, you have to take that responsibility. It's not on the agent.
Yeah.
They're just responsible for telling you why you should buy it.
Yeah, especially in the market that we had seen over the past year or two, with how quickly houses were selling. People were signing knowing that maybe this isn't the property that they would love, but just to get something because they needed a home at that moment.
Correct. And that happens often too.
It makes sense. So when you work with real estate agents, so for people watching, if they're real estate agents, what advice can you give? Where do you network to find these agents? Do they reach out to you? Are you the one going to, let's say, networking events to find them?
Sure. So I would say at my level, people know me already. I get calls from agents all the time. Hey, saw what you did over here. I have this thing over here, right? So they're looking for me and they're finding me. But what I tell most people who are looking to network with agents and lenders and things like that is first of all, you have to pick your area, right? So the first thing you need to do is know your zip code blind, right? That's the first thing you need to do. Pick your zip code, know the streets, know the areas, know the comps. Be alert of what's for sale, what's not for sale, what did sell, what went off the market, what lawns aren't being cut, all of those sort of things. And sometimes know it better than your agent themselves. With all that knowledge that you'll arm yourself with, which is all available online, you will be able to notice who does the most transactions. So Dennis does this many transactions a month, and Shelly does this much, and this person does that much, and I'm making up names here, but you begin to identify patterns, And those are the people that if you're looking to build those relationships, you go after them and you say, hey, how did I saw that you sold that house. I'm looking for something just like it. How do I, what's the move here? How do I get there? Network events are cool and they're interesting. And I think that they're great for people who are starting out because it'll immediately connect people. There's no grind to it, right? You're in the same location. So you're clearly both there for the same thing and you're going to get something out of it. The problem with these networking events is not all the time are the people that are there really the people you want to be networking with, right? They're usually all people that are trying to get into something or trying to move their company forward. You kind of already want to meet the people that are moving in a good trajectory because those are the people that will get you there faster. If you're starting out the same playing field with the same person, meaning like if you're a builder and you're starting out and you're meeting an agent who's just starting out, they're in the same exact position. They're not yet able they haven't built enough traction to get enough properties or to see enough things, or they have so much to learn as well. So sometimes those are a little tricky, but they're definitely good to meet people at and build your connections around.
So for someone like you, it completely makes sense to have to work with someone that has proof that they've been able to do exactly what you need them to do on a large scale, especially 100%. Because you're not just selling one house a year, you probably have multiple projects a month. So it completely makes sense. But for our viewers that are new agents or that are thinking of starting out and they would love to work with builders and new construction only, what's one piece of advice you could give? If I'm a new agent, how should I approach you to catch your attention, to differentiate myself?
So agents who reach out to me a lot, who ask me that question, I think, one of the things I initially just said was that you need to know your zip code cold. You need to know everything about the area that you're pitching in. You need to be walking the streets, knowing the houses, knowing the neighborhood. And most agents who are, after that work, they're jumping from Palisades to Brentwood to San Fernando, Burbank, wherever. They're just like looking for deals. Some agent posted this on their Facebook group and says it's developers should see. So they send it out to their developer list. Did you do any research? Did you look at the property? Did you see what condition it was in? Did you see where it was located? Did you see, why it's priced that low or what's wrong with it? Did you find out what could be done to the property? They come in empty-handed. All they have is an address and they think an address is going to get them the money. But if they come in with knowledge, like I was telling you earlier, they come in prepared to sell, then they have something of value that they can provide. When agents just send me an address, I go, what's the story with it? And they go, oh, well, someone from my office has it. And I thought it might be good for you. Why did you think it might be good for me? Well, it's in this neighborhood and, blah, blah, blah. It's the price. Well, what's so good about the price? Well, it's, the comp next door, blah, blah, sold for this much. I go, okay, why did that one sell for that much? It's a constant just asking questions because they're bringing me nothing. Yeah. Right. So I have nothing to get from what they're giving me. I can go to any agent I want and say, hey, this listing is available. Should I buy it? Write it up for me. There's no value. There's nothing being provided for me. So if they can come to the table and say, Jason, here's this lot. It's on this street. It's this many square feet of property, this much of it is flat, this much of it is hillside or whatever, right? And I did a report on it and you can build X amount of square feet. If you do a basement, you can build X amount of square feet. Right now, current comps and the exits of those properties are going at X, Y, and Z. So there's already this much profit built in for you. It's a perfect deal, blah, blah, blah. You got to get in on this. If not, I got to bring it to 10 other people. That's a convincing conversation that I am now intrigued by, right? Oh, whoa, there's money there. They did the work. Now all I have to do is verify what they told me instead of having to go look at it for myself, right? And again, it could be argued it's my job to go look at it, not their job. But what value are they? What value are they bringing if I have to do the work?
That makes complete sense. So for anyone watching, there might be amazing deals in different zip codes that you have access to or that people are sharing with you. But what would be better would be to find homes in your local area. Let's say 10, 15-mile radius from your own house. The house you grew up in, preferably, so that you know the area, you know the schools, you know the businesses, you know the trends over the years, and find those listings. And you might not be able to work with one builder because maybe Jason doesn't want to buy 15 different homes in Glendale in 1 week. But what you can now do is provide these valuable resources to different builders, and you develop relationships with these builders, see who you click with more, who you do better work with, and all of a sudden you might find yourself in an exclusive relationship with the builder, and you have constant work in the future. You don't even have to switch your own leads.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's great advice. So for people starting out, would you say that having this exclusive relationship partnership with the builder would be more beneficial, or do you think that they should just try everything in the beginning?
I think that when you're starting out, don't be stupid. Get a mentor. I think that people think that they can kind of just go at it and get a desk in a brokerage and, enticed by a deal or whatever. And they sit down and then they realize they have no clue what they're doing. They can't get it. They try to get a website. They try to push marketing. They try to do, it doesn't matter how good your Instagram is. If you're a new realtor who knows nothing and you're putting out awesome reels and YouTube videos, no one has any trust in you. Get a mentor and let them lead you. Let them show you how to build your brand and how to go through a deal and how to go through an experience, because there's so much you're going to go through, and you'll begin to figure out what works best for you. Like what kind of deals you like to work on, and you might find what you're looking for in different scenarios. So getting experience is definitely, of course, a must, right? So go to offer to sit opens, offer to meet people, go wherever you need to go. Don't be shy about being the first person or the new person or anything like that. But find a mentor, find someone who's really going to guide you. What I say is that you can take the path on your own. You can learn all the things you want to learn. But if you have a mentor along the ride with you, it's kind of like having, it's an old reference, but a Thomas guide. It's a map that's in front of you that, today we have Apple Maps or whatever, but, it's a map that's in front of you that will help guide you along the road of your journey, as opposed to just trying to figure it out. Take this road, walk 10 miles, and then find out you went the wrong way. You got to go back, go again. This helps a lot. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah, I love what the founder of Nike, Phil Knight, says about his experience. He says he's made so many mistakes, but he calls them hard-won lessons because they were difficult to get past that failure, but they definitely were a lesson. And it's considered a win, because if 100%. You find someone like him, like Phil, who can teach you these hard-won lessons, you don't have to suffer the consequences that they had to suffer. You don't have to waste the time that they've had to waste. Apply it to your career as long as you're consistent and you actually listen and you take in the information. Because a lot of people will take the real estate exam and all they have is these reality shows and these Instagram views of what real estate should look like. They think, oh, I could do it. All I have to do is talk about a house. I love looking at houses. I love looking on Zillow. I could talk about a house, but it's not that easy when you get into it.
100%. It's the truth.
Yeah. So question for you. Do you know SEFSU off the top of your head on Instagram? The two guys that built the house in North Hollywood. Did you do work with them?
No.
No, okay. I had a specific question about their project, so never mind. I actually found you through their Instagram, so, so I just assumed you were working with them.
I did a YouTube video with them.
Okay.
I did a tour of their house, and they did a tour of one of mine.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah,
when I spoke with them, I don't know if you know anything about the specifics. They broke a local record in North Hollywood, California, for
correct.
selling the most expensive home. But one thing that they did say was that they spent a lot more money that they had planned, than they had budgeted for, and the main reason was because they didn't plan everything ahead of time. So they
Mhm.
kind of did everything as they went. So how can this be avoided when you think about building and for professionals who are new to being a builder or new to construction? How can they give sound advice to whoever is hiring them to avoid these issues?
Yeah. So planning can be done however someone chooses to plan. For me, I do I do the architectural plans and the designs through Shelter, and that's we basically build the house before we've ever even knocked it down. Because it's so important for us to know what we're doing ahead of time, and we have almost we try to get almost 90% of the house completed before a piece of wood gets stood up. And anyone can be as organized as they want, right? Like my old partner, the person that actually mentored me and trained me, he was very prepared for the house, but did it on the fly, right? Like he had we weren't using Excel spreadsheets or no programs. First of all, those things, they only started becoming more and more prevalent today, but it was just like he had folded pages of magazines. He was like, Jace, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that.
Wow,
Cool.
that's incredible.
But it was a plan of action. It was a forward movement, and it was always, we know what we're doing. We're moving forward. So you can do it however you want, but to be as prepared as possible is the goal. For me, I like to create design packages. So I literally do CAD drawings of the cabinets and renderings of the colors and fixtures and pieces and walls and treatments and everything. Everything just gets completely designed out, so we know exactly what we're going to be doing.
So
And I still allow myself 10% to be creative throughout the process, but overall, we always know the direction we're going in.
yeah. So I definitely, if I were to do anything, I think I would do it your way. I need to be prepared ahead of time to know what to do, especially if you're doing more than one project at a time. It just doesn't make
Sure.
sense to rely on remembering what you're going to do or what you need to do next. Do you think it makes sense, even if you're working on one project at a time, do you think it makes sense to do it on the fly in today's economy where you might have something with a specific contractor, but that might slip up, or they might change prices on you last second?
I don't know. Every scenario is different. I think that the main thing is, if you are hiring the right people who can lead you and guide you into making the right decisions at the time, then should be fine. In this industry, it's sometimes hard to do, but I'll go back to the more prepared you are, the better. If you're trying to wing it and do it like that, there's plenty of builders who do it. There's plenty of guys who don't even wing it. They just copy and paste, right? They just do whatever they did last house. They're doing it again. Same cabinets, same this, same floor, same everything. It's an independent decision on everyone's part as to how they want to build their business.
Okay, that makes sense. So I won't take too much of your time. I know I said 45 minutes, so that's our time for today. But thank you so much for your time, and for everyone.
It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And for everyone watching, I think Jason gave some great advice for real estate agents and new agents starting up, not just for construction people or builders. So you can reach out to Jason. We'll link all his social media down below in the details of the video. I'm sure he would be more than happy to answer any questions or work directly with you. And if you have any questions for us, we are also always available. Thank you so much, Jason.
Of course.
And for everyone at home, remember, change begins at home. So start implementing these changes today. Take notes if you have to. Make a plan.